Good evening, zombies, skeletons, and other risen dead. And welcome to another spine-tingling episode of Blood from a Stone, a tale of love and dread in RPG. My name is Philip, and I'm the Dread Master of this game, and ensconcing me are our wonderful players. Say, good evening, players.
Good evening,
Players.
We were not having, in an uncharacteristic manner, we were not having an extremely inappropriate and horny conversation before we went live here.
Not
So
right
much.
before, but like
Previously,
It happened a
there
little
were
bit.
some things, but at this point, it was all fine. One thing, however, that I'm now revealing to the players right now is I dealt out the cards from the deck of Dread for tonight's game. I'm trying to do that ahead of time just so we got it handled. But I looked at the hands that were dealt, and it was a deeply uneven spread, in which there was one hand that is among the worst I've ever seen, and one hand had nothing over 4 in it.
oh,
And I was like, yikes, okay. Other hands and then another hand had 2 kings in it. And I said, this is very imbalanced, but it's the fate of the cards. I let the players say, shall I redeal, or do you want these cards? And we had one abstention, we had one hand them out as is, and we had two mulligan, please redeal. I have now redealt the cards. I am here to tell you that this is a much more balanced set of hands, but it is a much worse set of hands overall.
I told y'all.
That is what Lauren said would happen. Lauren, because of that, I will give you the opportunity to select. You can say 1, 2, 3, 4. Which hand you would like?
3.
You'd like 3.
Okay.
You have chosen poorly.
Yes!
You have a couple of high cards, but you also have 2 aces, my friend.
Okay, well, you know.
You have the ace of spades, the 6 of spades, the ace of hearts, the 9 of diamonds, and the 9 of clubs. That will be Lauren's hand for the evening.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry, 6 of spades or 6 of clubs?
6 of spades. Moses. She's taken 3, so you can do 1, 2, or 4.
4.
4. 4 does not have a super high average, but you do have a precious jack amidst it. You have the 3 of hearts, 7 of hearts, 8 of diamonds, jack of diamonds, and the 7 of clubs. And for your build, your character, clubs tend to be the most important one, so at least you have a decently large one. Zane, would you like to pick, or would you like Fable to pick the final?
Fable, you can go.
Fable, would you like, basically, it's 1 or 2? 3 and 4 have been picked.
2? 2?
2 is the 8 of spades, the jack of spades, the 10 of diamonds, the ace of clubs, and the 10 of clubs. Probably the best hand of the ones dealt, but not an amazing. I mean, you have some decent ones, but not crazy. Yes, Lauren?
I'm sorry, can I see mine again?
I was going to have the same thing. One more for me.
And these are yours.
Oh, okay.
Moses, these are yours.
7 of hearts and 8 diamonds. Okay. 7 of hearts, 8 diamonds.
Zane, this is your hand.
7 of hearts.
Sick.
Screen grabs.
8 diamonds. Where is it?
Wait.
Fable, once again, here is your hand.
Screen capped it. We're good.
I'm sorry, 9 of diamonds and 9 of clubs.
Correct.
Okay.
My 8 of diamonds. There it
Diamonds,
is.
clubs. All right. I will lay those out there. I have gotten word that we will have perhaps one more person joining us soon. So I'm going to go ahead and deal out a hand for that person.
Is it our
Look at
favorite
it, but
twin?
not reveal it. It's okay. It's not amazing. It's okay. Well, how are we all faring today?
So well.
In our previous episode, some things occurred. In our previous episode, oh man, the music just shifted at a big moment. We had our group set out from the Tower of Vorgazity across the desolation of Ignitor. Unbeknownst to the Qulenem brothers, the party had no intention of heading to the Hill of No Solace on the mission assigned to them by the Court of Vorgazity. Instead, their plan was to venture. Here's our other gentleman, in fact, right now. Hello, Atris.
Hello.
Atris.
Hello, brother.
Here is, I will show you your cards in a moment. I was just starting to recap, so this will be useful for you to hear as well. The group set out, and with the assistance of Hattie, an expert explorer, looking at the map, she traced them a route that was fairly direct to to the Lich Queen's Valley of Badairoth without arousing too much suspicion through the marshes of the goblins. Going through there was word that the questing beast was sighted nearby, and that many individuals were moving through the marshes seeking it, and the amazing things it could bring. Urrek even suggested to Elwyn, oh, maybe we want this. But she said, the questing beast is always a distraction. It's not worth our time. Nevertheless, when they were told... Oh, they were also told about the Born Dead, the Godivore. These sort of skeletal, noseless, cadaverous individuals who are here, native to this realm and hunting such a creature. But ultimately, they sort of followed the offer of a goblin hunter with a big warg wolf named Yivicus to lead them to a witch, and they took this offer with Chadelaid and Atris the whole time, their fine boots sinking into the muck, and just this indignity upon indignity being suffered upon these brothers, all in the service of Ire Vergazity. So it was a very irritating day for them. Eventually, however, the group reached a small, odd, sort of like Yoda hut-style structure in the woods that was said to be where the Goblin Witch dwelt. Upon entering, she spoke to them for a while, and to prove her abilities, the rest of the party said, I want you to put frogs in their pants. Oh, the Qulenem stayed outside. They were like, we're not going into a goblin house. So then she put frogs into their pants and also in their throats, because they said, could you mute them for a while? Actually, they said, could you just mute them? But she said, only for a while with the coin you're giving me. So to prove her abilities, the Atris and Chadelaid's already unpleasant trip into a marsh became even more unpleasant when they had to like rip open their pants and scrape out frogs and cough out frogs that were preventing them from breathing. So it's been a tough time. Meanwhile, the rains continue to fall heavier and heavier. However, grandmother then was asking. That's what she was told to call. They were told to call this goblin. They basically explained, because the Quelenems were there, what their true goal is, to go to the Valley of Badairoth, the Lich Queen's castle, and to slay her now when things are sort of in a state of flux, and because Alvin Theodore is capable of that. The Goblin Witch said that is absolutely true. He is natural, but neither living nor dead. He is stone. Stone is nature, but, of a different variety. You could do it, but you would need a weapon. You would need a weapon sort of powerful enough to do that. And she said, I could give you that, but this is a like-for-like situation. And that is when the crew decided to debate and ultimately agreed, with one major telepathic dissenter, to hand her the soldier's soul, the sword in which the soul of the soldier fortune resides. The witch gleefully took the sword, told them that the sword they sought was already outside in the marsh. Hattie valiantly, or duplicitously, based on perspective, tried to reclaim the sword and jump out, but all she got was the scabbard, and then the witch's house leapt away on giant frog legs. So, with basically Hattie and Urrek and Elwyn kind of out in, I think you guys all fell into the muck as you were sort of rushing out, with Alvin standing there looking at a giant stone golem scaled stone sword that was in the marshes waiting for him to take it, and with the Quelenems just scraping frogs off of themselves and trying to overcome that, a Dreadstorm began. And that is where we left off. Jeremy, this is your hand. If you'd like to copy down or screen cap or whatever, however you do it.
Not a screen cap.
Love it. So friends. That is where we left off in our last adventure. I guess actually the final beat was the Goblin Witch found out that it was one of the Mistwalkers was within the sword, and she cackled deeply into the night, to the point that the players couldn't even hear me cackling because it was so loud and exciting. And that is where we left off. So now we're going to start today's game. Does anyone have any questions before we do? Any important points you feel I have not enumerated? Wonderful. The Dread Clock, because of that, does sit at the hour of 13. So the good news is, if anyone survives this, it's as far from a Dreadstorm as possible. And not one of you has a queen in hand, so that's good. And it's not like, you know, if you draw a queen, it's an automatic advance of the clock or anything. Oh wait, that is what it's like. So, with all that in mind, although all what joking aside, none of you can discard a queen from your hand now, so you can't trigger an automatic horror surge. So that is cool. With no queens on the board. So with all that in mind, I'm going to read the invocation for tonight's episode of Blood from a Stone, chapter 133. Stand up naked in the storm. Shake back your mane and face the thunders and the giant winds that roar between the worlds. Face the rush of events, the gigantic truths, the dizzying realities. Be one with the tempests, the roaring ocean, and the swirling constellations. So, the rains begin to pound from overhead. Lauren, could you please roll a d13?
Why do you hate me?
I don't hate you, but you make it easy to torment you. So that's why I choose you, Pikachu.
A 3.
A 3. Oh, shit.
No.
That's a good one to cross over here. All right, so as the rains... Oh, actually, do you want me to roll a d13 or would you like to roll another one?
I'll roll another one.
Okay, roll another one, please. Now's the coolest time for you to roll a 13, by the way.
It is an 11.
An 11. Okay, so I think an 11 would be enough. Okay, so, the rains begin to pound. There is a massive crack of thunder, clash of wind in the distance. Urrek and Elowin, as you two are kind of like pulling yourselves up, Hattie is like holding a scabbard, like staring at it like she's lost a limb, totally despondent, kind of muttering to herself. Alvin, you see this sword rising out of the swamp. Chadelaid and Atris, the rains are pounding down right now. Actually, Atris, would you, or no, both of you, I would like for you to do an analyze based on what's going on. Would you like to, you can, for your analysis, you can either use a card in hand, or you can, or you could draw crazy. And you don't have to do this, but it's kind of, if you think in response to the rain, you'd kind of try to think about what might be going on, you two would be welcome to from being in this room.
Draw.
You'll draw? All right. Chadelaid will draw for an analyze. A queen.
Ooh.
Wonderful. Please, could you please roll a d20? Or I can just roll my d13 if you don't have your dice handy.
I can roll it really quick.
Wonderful.
I don't
And we're off. Thank you, Fable.
I got an 8.
An 8. Okay, so no horror surge, but we do draw a queen. But that is a 13, so that's about as good as it can get. Are you going to do this as well, Atris?
If it's already that good, I don't know if it's worth. I'll use my
Because I rolled that, and then I have like 4 for analyze.
Yeah, I think I'll just leave it to.
You'll leave it to Chad. So basically, Chadelaid, as you sort of look up and you see these winds and you see like the clouds have this purplish tint lit up for a moment in the lightning. Chadelaid with a 17, a very high degree of success. This means that this is a Dreadstorm. And you understand that Dreadstorms bring things from all over the place. Dreadstorms used to mean a kind of incursion between two planes, but now Dreadstorms could mean all sorts of things.
I guess, are we still like right outside the Baba Yaga frog hut?
It hopped away.
It hopped away?
It hopped away
Okay.
into the clouds, into the night.
Okay, so I turn to the group and I say, You probably won't thank me for this, but... And then I explain, like, what the Dreadstorm is. And have you guys experienced something like this before?
Elwyn and Urrek, you are familiar with the phenomenon, but you've never been in one. Alvin, however, you have been in a few.
They're not pleasant.
Does anyone here have a modifier of 2 or higher under your vitality in listen?
Yes.
Understood. So Atris and Alvin, as you're sort of saying, they're not pleasant. Both of you hear this sort of very thunderous kind of... There's something up in the sky, and it sounds like a roll of thunder, but then it sounds different, more present. Could you both give me a listen draw?
I'll use my jack because it's of hearts.
You'll use your jack. It is of hearts, so you will get one back. What is your modifier for that?
2.
2. Okay, so that gets you to a 13. And congratulations, you get a queen back. So the queen is, of course, a 13 and will be great for vitality, but also will be another 13 on the old clock. Alvin, what do you have? You're going to use your
9 of hearts.
Makes total sense. All right, what is that? What is your modifier again?
4.
Hey, guess what? You just got a queen as well.
Lit.
So you guys didn't draw them, which is a shame. You didn't get to sort of play them at the thing, but we now have 2 queens in hand, and 1 has already been expended. Wonderful. Okay, so I would say that what does that get you to a total of?
13.
So you're both at 13. Okay, so both of you add a 13, listening sort of, and it's an august number for this purpose. What you can both tell is that it's almost Alvin. It's almost, you're like, it really is movie-like. Chadelaid's like, guys, this is a thing. And Alvin's like, oh, those aren't good. And then Alvin and Atris both like turn up because what you hear is that the thunder overhead is not only thunder. Both of you hear the beating of massive wings. You both hear a thunderous kind of amidst the rolling.
Is there anywhere we can take shelter?
An excellent question. Why don't you make a navigate track roll as you glance around? Just thinking, is there anywhere, any good place? Now you do, if you want, you will succeed even without anything if you just use your queen. But it will, of course, then be an awesome moment for me in which you have to roll the.
Navigate is in intellect, so I don't have any diamonds.
You do. You have. Oh no, you don't. Sorry,
No.
Alvin has the diamond. You have a heart. Sorry.
Let's see. I'll use my 8.
You'll use your 8. Okay. Your 8 of clubs. Great. Using your 8 of clubs, as you're kind of like, oh dear, what the, you sort of look around, and you do see that there is a sort of, it's actually not far from where Alvin is standing. If you kind of go through that sort of thicker kind of, area of mud, you could get under some trees that are sort of growing higher, and maybe if there is a big thing overhead, even if it is a fire-breathing variety, perhaps in this much wet, it won't, that may be a safer place to hide. The only trouble with it, Atris, I think with an 8, you just have a sense of this is, it's also possible that getting in there, you'll be sort of more stuck. You won't be as able to escape as quickly from that area.
I'm not as worried about that as I am about the imminent fire breathing that may be happening. So I'm going to and let everybody else know and start running towards it.
Let's start.
All right, so Chadelaid, Atris, Elwyn, and Urrek, are you guys going to run as per Atris' suggestion?
I will actually look to Alvin to see what he does.
Alvin.
Alvin.
The sword in question is about 10 feet into, more, water that you would start, maybe, you're pretty tall, so it may not quite go up to your waist, but you have to go into some water to attempt to pull out this sword if you wanted to do so.
thought he pulled it out last time, but actually,
did
Alvin.
he?
Probably
I thought
did.
he did.
How do you do?
I think we just said it was there. Because did you make a roll to pull it out? Because you have to make a roll to put, like, it's there was going to be a lift roll. Do you think you did a lift roll?
No, I did not.
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, Alvin actually goes for the sword.
Understood. Okay, so Elowin, you see as the Quelenems rush over there, Alvin begins walking sort of into an area that is actually far more exposed towards the sword. Urrek, are you going to just do whatever Elowin does?
Urrek stays with his lady.
Of course. Elowin, what would you like to do? Are you going to stay here with Alvin, or are you going to follow the twins?
I will stay with Alvin.
Understood. So Chadelaid and Atris, please give me move rolls. It's under the spade's physicality. You both have some spades in hand, but I don't know that either of you have.
I'll use my 7 of spades. On move, do I have anything?
I'll
I'm gonna
use
put
my
2 into move.
You'll put 2 into move to get you to a 9. Okay, great. And your replacement card for that is a 4 of diamonds.
Okay.
If you have that jotted down.
I'll use my 8.
You're going to use the 8, not the jack? Understood. Then
Wait. Yeah, that's fine.
with an 8, I will say that the two of you managed to, like, move through the morass, and you're kind of watching and confused that the others aren't all going with you. I am going to say that Hattie, it does kind of just, like, she kind of gets out of a stupor. She doesn't go to where they are, but she kind of just, like, slips away somewhere, presumably to safety. Elowin, Urrek, and Alvin, you are sitting there. Alvin begins to walk into the thing. Elowin and Urrek, are either of you doing anything in this moment? And by now, you all can hear some big thing overhead.
Where's the description of my magic?
Well, in this... Oh, and I actually need to talk to Chadelaid and Atris about this as well. I totally said I was going to in this. So, this system, I'm going to be being a little more fast and loose with magic. All of you have magic from different sources, so... The real cap on your magic is more going to be the power that is required to do certain things.
Okay.
Basically, you can sort of say, I want to, conjure a little of this and a little of that. And it's sort of, like, the bigger the effect. I'm going to say that all of you have a baseline proficiency with sort of simple, simple conjurations. Atris, the way that you, like, magically, suppressed a trap last two sessions back. You guys can do that. You can do the stuff that's in your wheelhouse. Atris and Chadelaid, the two of you expending a large amount of power because you're not fully trained yet, is kind of how we said it. You could attempt to maybe, like, if there's a corpse, you could try to turn it into a zombie under your stuff. That's the thing you could try. Elowin, you could attempt healing because that's more in your zone. But we're going to be more...
Could I do protection?
Yes, you could attempt to create a warding shield of some sort. That would require a good number of power for you to do. And I would allow you, Elowin, to do that in response to an attack.
Okay, I will prepare to, with my crystal ball, I guess.
You're just going to, like, hold your crystal ball and just, like, you're just ready to try to block an attack, sure.
I have a few questions.
Yeah, sure.
One, is my power back up at max right now?
Your power, yes, your power would be at max. Atris and Chadelaid specifically. The others, your power is not changed from what it was last time because you were actively doing stuff. They were getting frogs, so yeah.
And then
2, what was the item we took? We took bracers?
You both took some
Geminis.
bracers, and those are giving you... Oh, yes, that's right. So, I would effectively say those are going to, like, eliminate the need for you to spend power on what we would consider, like, more like first level spell, basically kind of like things like shielding or, like, like basic offense and defense. You don't have to spend power to do those things with those bracers.
And my third question is, would I, as a necromancer, have any, like, shadow-based magic to, like, hide us away?
Sure, stealth, illusion magic is probably a thing that you would have a little bit of. Now, will it hold up against, like, a dragon scent? That is something I would let you analyze the situation before spending power to try something like that. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I mean, I would do it so that it would be a thing that I would do before the dragon spots us.
Understood.
But, like, it's not, like, something I could do, like, so that it doesn't, like, spot us in the first place. But if it already is like heading towards us, there would be no reason to do it.
Yeah, understood. I will get to that if we'll see how things go here in a moment. So Elwyn, you are going to prepare some sort of just like have at the ready some defensive measures. Is there anything you would like to do at this time, Urrek?
I don't have any magic, right? I'm just a dude.
You don't have magic. You have, you'll have other things you can sort of, you have more means of,
Yeah.
You're more of a courtly kind of gentleman.
Does Alvin need help getting the sword?
Alvin, you could certainly try to wade out with Alvin and assist him if you'd like, certainly. I would even let you, if you're trying to play to your strengths, I would even say you could, if you wanted to, you could try to use your charm persuade to encourage him or, cheer him on or something if you even wanted to do that.
I'll do that.
All right.
Why not?
What do you want to use a card or do you want to draw? You only have one club in your hand.
I'll draw.
Okay, we'll draw. Here we go. And the card is a 9. 9 of spades. So a higher card than what you had that will get you to an 11. So Alvin, basically, Urrek, is there anything specifically you want to say to Alvin as you cheer on this golem?
Does Alvin have human eyes or are they rock eyes?
They're rock eyes.
You know what? I'm gonna look Alvin right in his stony rock eyes, and with so much genuine belief and passion, I'm gonna say, Alvin, beneath these stones I see diamonds, and you can lift this sword. And please do it fast before the dragon gets us. Because if you cost my lady her life, you don't want to know what I'm gonna do to you.
I'll try my best.
Good man.
I'm gonna give you one additional modifier on this. So you're gonna get an extra. Basically, you're gonna have a +1 to this roll, thanks to that. So Alvin, as you sort of stalk out, towards this thing, you are going to need to. I'm not going to make you make a roll to get there because it's very sort of heavy tromping. It'll just sort of take you a few moments. But this will be an athletics roll. I said lift earlier, but it was athletics I guess I reduced things in this system again. So you have a +6 to this.
It says +5 on
+5, but because of Urrek's words.
Oh, that's right.
Urrek's
That's right.
inspiration,
Okay,
you have a +6. Now this, sir, is your hand, sir. So, I mean, I'm not trying to suggest anything to anyone, but I'm just saying that, they're in the middle. You do have.
I'm already there with you, baby.
Are you doing that?
Absolutely.
Love it. All right. So you do not replace this card, but the queen goes down. And would you please roll a d13?
Absolutely. Take it at.
Now's such a cool time to roll a 13.
Divorce.
Oh shit! It went under my thing. I'm sliding it over.
Understood.
It's a 3. I saw a 3. It's just a 3.
You saw a 3 and you were like, "This is amazing." Yeah. All right. Perfect. So you put your hands onto this and you begin to pull, and with a score of 19, which is very high, you do begin to dislodge this stone from the muck and the just sucking mud of these marshes. And as you sort of stand there and you pull up this huge, it's a two-hander for you. It's a huge sword made of stone that you sort of pull up out of the mud. It's caked in mud, just covered in mud, and branches wrapped around it at the bottom. And as you pull it up and sort of shake it off, the sword is intense. And Urrek and Elwyn are standing there watching you. And with this weapon in hand, that is when the Great Worm finally descends to this area.
Worm or Wyrm? Like WYR?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what they call them. So, Alvin, Elwyn, and Urrek. I'm going to say that Chadelaid and Atris, though you guys notice this, you guys see a dragon But Alvin, what you see as you sort of turn, it's like holding the sword. Actually, do you think you'd even like look up, or are you just so excited to have the sword? Are you kind of so taken with this cool weapon you just got?
He heard what was up above, so he is mindful that he's, seeing how quickly that thing is approaching.
Understood. So as you do this, you see that the purple mists are sort of parting around you, and half flapping, half falling out of the sky is a huge black-scaled dragon, but with this oddly elongated neck and a mouth with two huge fangs protruding from it, eyes glowing red, and the wings are like those of a bat. This is unlike any dragon you've ever seen before. You also notice that that would be a roll to sort of notice that. But basically, this huge sort of dragon that falls. This. Yes, Elowen. Go ahead.
When I can, I would like to analyze.
Very well, Elowen. I will say that you can make a quick analysis roll from your little spot, and you're going to use your 9.
Yes.
What does that bring you to?
A 14.
And congratulations, you've recovered it with another of the same suit. So way to go. What you see seems like it's because you did recently meet that Count Dracula, who was a vampire unlike any you'd seen before. What you're seeing here, this strange creature, and the vampire dragon has actually appeared before, in a previous episode. Also in a Dreadstorm, in fact.
We meet again.
But it has now landed here, and it is like, but like this thing looks so ravenous and so furiously hungry. But Elowen, that does get you to a 13?
14.
14. With a 14, you have a suspicion that this is some kind of vampire dragon hybrid, but also it is sort of landing. It's already like picking itself up and like flinging mud off of itself. Those mists overhead were probably messing with it too. Chadelaid probably explained how the purple mist can sort of sap your strength and all that. So
so it's disoriented.
It is disoriented. I mean, it seems like it's not really even disoriented, but it has crash landed here. It can't fly right now. Yes.
Do I get a sense with that 14 that it would go after Alvin since he's made of stone?
You suspect it would not go after Alvin, for he is made of stone.
Okay. Then I will say to Urrek, we need to hide. And Can I look around?
Yeah, I was saying, can I do a look to
Both
see if
of
I
you,
can see a hiding place?
I think a look will require a higher degree of success, but you can. The other thing you could do is a navigate track, much the way the Quelenems did. You can look for a hiding place.
We'll do navigate track.
You'll do navigate track. Great. Okay.
Would I also be able to shout to Alvin, or would that?
I would say you could call it to Alvin. I mean, that's going to make a dragon know where you are. Also, Atris, I know you were wanting to put up some illusions. So if that is a thing that you wanted to do,
I don't want to risk doing anything to draw attention to myself.
You're like, I don't even want to put up a fake thing. I also, actually, to tell you what, Atris, give me an analyze roll, or I think it would be analyze. Yes. Sorry to have you always do the same things, but also that is one you have some felicity with. So, you want to draw, or you want to use your 4 of diamonds, want to use your Queen of Hearts, or you just want to draw?
I'll use my 4 of diamonds.
All right, that'll get you to a 6. I will say that you have no knowledge that this is a vampire dragon from your position. And from what you can see, you're just like, oh dear, dragon. But you are, even with a 6, you know that dragons have incredible noses. So an illusion probably would not hide the heartbeats that you and your, kind of the living musk that you Twilight Elves are giving off. The living musk is what I said, and we all have to sit in it. Okay.
Just sit in that.
So Urrek, what are you going to use for your navigate track?
My jack.
Gonna use that jack. All right. So that is and did you put points into that? Or are you just gonna? You don't have to, but you could. It's an 11 just with the jack, so it's pretty good.
I'll just hit the 11.
Perfect. With an 11, and your new card is a 6 of diamonds. So.
6.
So you're gonna we're gonna replenish the same suit. So that's nice. With that draw, you do sort of see a spot. Kind of basically, you're kind of copying what Atris did, just in a different area. So you're kind of like Eloin, like we should go over. You know,
Some would say maybe I did it better.
Some
Did I
might,
get a new card too?
I would.
You do. Strictly speaking, I've already given him that card. Sorry. Wait, because you use one of the same suit.
I used the diamond, yeah.
Perfect. Jack of clubs.
Okay.
Jacks and kings are good. Okay, so Urrek, you see an area that you could sort of get Eloin over to. Eloin, did you also want to look around to see if you notice anything else or see anything else?
Yeah. Would that be a part of my analysis?
No. The analysis was only about the dragon.
I will trust Urrek.
Okay, cool. Then Urrek can sort of lead you. Could you both please go under your physicality and give me a move draw?
Phase.
I'll go with 6.
You'll go with your 6 of. Okay, so it's
Yeah.
on suit. A 6 on suit. 6 is a pretty good move, but you're not moving great. But you replace it with a 6 of hearts.
Nice.
And what about you, Urrek?
I'll use my 8 of diamonds.
8 of diamonds. Great. Okay, so you won't replenish that, but with an 8 of
But I'll
diamonds.
put 1 point into move.
And you'll put 1. Okay, so basically you move a little quicker, but honestly, between the sort of stuff that's all this going on, you're able to kind of start moving stuff out. Like you can kind of hold some branches back to let her in first as she's coming up behind you.
I'm clearing the way for my lady.
We'll sort of see how this goes because Alvin, this sort of vampire dragon, as it kind of rises up, it notices you, and I'll tell you what, Alvin. Give me a detect vibe roll. Yeah, detect vibe. It's under will, the clubs.
Can I do the? Okay, so, and I'm still getting used to the card system too.
Totally understandable.
If I use, because I have 2 clubs, because I'm trying to think of what's next.
Of course.
I know I want to get rid of low cards.
Yeah.
So is using the lowest card right now more wise, or using the card that's a little bit higher, seeing what happens? Because the detect value if it's low is not going to result in much. Right?
Because they're both low, the difference between what you'd get out of this is probably pretty minimal between the 3 and the 4. So, yeah, you could just dump the 3 and hope that a later thing, maybe this one, I'll just tell you, a 3 and a 4 makes no difference which one you use. Perhaps at some future point, the 4 would be slight edge over the 3.
3 it is, baby.
That 3. All right, very good. That will, however, replenish a card because it is of the thing, and the card you get back is a 5 of diamonds. All right, so Alvin, as you look at the sort of motion of this thing, as it's kind of looking around, you don't really know what is on its draconic, unknown, maybe undead mind. I'm not even sure that you may not have seen immediately that this is a vampire dragon. You're just assuming this is some horrible, weird looking dragon with extra long fangs that kind of it's like a goth dragon. But as you're sort of preparing for it to sort of move, you probably are you're probably bracing on some level, just assuming that it's going to attack you, I would imagine.
Mm-hmm.
So it is probably somewhat of a surprise to you that this sort of dragon, as it rushes forward and kicks up and sort of beats its kind of bat-like wings with these red glowing eyes and opening these sharp jaws, it isn't coming for you at all. And as it passes you, it seems to be heading straight to Eloin and Urrek. They are the moving, breathing beings that are present.
Is Alvin able to take an action at this point?
Alvin, I would allow you to try to smite this creature. To try to cut it down. But I'm going to tell you, and based on the cards in hand, even though you have a 5, you're going to, because it's like, even though you're very tall, you'll have to like jump up, to get into its way will require kind of a bigger, more forceful thing to sort of draw its attention. What's going on is that it thought he was a statue. It sensed no, it just, all it cared about was like, flesh, I'm hungry. So Alvin, if you'd like to do this, you have a couple of options. One, you can simply pull out one of your cards, and then you can spend 5 power to draw an additional card. Or, if you think, actually, I'm going to say you're sort of not in physical proximity enough to trade cards. We've never done that, by the way, but you guys can trade cards spending power.
I was reading that.
You can trade cards between your hands. We haven't ever had an occasion where we've wanted to do that, but you are allowed to do that. So Alvin, your other option though is to draw, and if you wanted to, you could then additionally spend power to add one on top. But you think you're probably going to need a pretty high roll, or a pretty high draw rather, a pretty high total to damage this creature enough that it will, that its momentum will be stopped. You're acting quick. You're also, it's even though you're only gonna have to make a fight draw, it's hard because you're jumping out of the sucking mud of a marsh and trying to strike it as it moves with its own speed. So, what would you like to do? Your options...
Alvin is gonna do everything he can to hit this fucker.
Wonderful. So, would you like to draw, or do you want to start with one of the cards you have? Okay,
so if I draw, that's just, and I can add power. If I draw first, I can do something afterward, correct?
So the advantage in your case, your cards aren't as high. If you use a card in hand, you're guaranteeing that it's not, I mean, your highest card is a 5. You do have one on suit, so you could play a 5 of spades. That will guarantee that this is at least a 10. And then you can simply spend 5 power to draw an additional card on top of that. Or you could just draw a card. Maybe you'll draw a queen, and you'll already be at like an 18. And then you could spend 5 power to draw additional on top of that. Or you can also spend power for as much as you could spend 10 power right now and just draw 2 extra cards for this rule. So you could really like Nova on this if you want to.
Let's draw a card and see what happens.
Draw a card and see where we're at. So here we go. The card that is drawn. Yes, Atris.
Can I say that since I was originally wanting everybody to hide with us, now that we're just kind of apart, can Atris just kind of be like, well, this was pointless, and start moving back toward the group so that you can make sure that they don't all get killed?
Okay, so in this instant, that will be a thing you could attempt, but like so imagine the two of you have hidden under some bushes. Alvin walked out, drew a sword, the thing landed. Elwyn and Urrek are now running to different bushes than where you are. And the vampire dragon is going for them. So if you emerge, you very well may be nearer target.
I will stay where I am for now.
Understood. All right. Chadelaid?
So seeing this, I feel like Chadelaid understands that this realm is filled with just dead bodies. It seems like one of the things that you've said is that like there's just bodies being brought in. Can he like essentially like put his hand to the ground and see if there are any like corpses or skeletons that he can toll the dead and call forth to be moving distractions?
So absolutely, if you'd like to try to animate a corpse that's around here, why don't you I'm trying to think if this should be a, you know what, I'm gonna give it to you that there is no way there is not a body nearby. I'm not even gonna make this be a luck roll. We'll say there has to be a body close by. So Chadelaid, in order to do this, what you would do is you are going to spend, I think this will be 5 power for you to attempt this, and then you're gonna does
this, wait, but we have the bracers. Does this count as
no? The bracers were simple. The bracers are simple defense and offense. The bracers are simple, kind of like some here's some
magic missile.
Here's some force magic over there. Here's some kind of just some magical beam over this way or a magical shield that way. It's kind of some simple stuff.
I'm calling out buddies.
Chad,
yeah.
What's
can
that?
we lower if I work to help Chad do this, can this give a bonus of some sort or reduce the power cost?
If you
Yeah.
both attempt it, I would honestly, I think if you both do it, you could get 2 corpses. It would simply be a doubling of what you're crafting.
It's a lot of power.
But also Chadelaid, it does not appear to me. So did you put all your points in places?
I did. I
Understood. So you may want to pull some out. I'm gonna Atris had already done this. I'm gonna put under Atris. It is under intellect. Sadly, that is the way of necromancy. I am gonna put in your custom just the sort of the kind of cast a spell. So you might I will allow you to pull some points from places to sort of stick a few in there just so you're not without nothing on that. All right. But while you guys are going about all of this, Alvin, you're not going to be able to do anything with the speed to prevent this massive dragon from the thing. So Alvin, we still haven't had Alvin draw yet. So let's see what Alvin draws. We'll get to this once we'll see how this works out.
Pick a card, any card.
Part of the cards.
A 10.
Oh, excellent.
And not only that,
Spade, baby.
it's a 10 of spades. So you are at a 15. You put a 3 of diamonds into your hand. You're at 15. Do you want to leave it there, or do you want to spend 5 power and draw an additional card?
No, baby, we're spending 5 power right now to get that card, get that additional card.
Love it. All right, so if you spend here, I'll even mark that on your sheet for you. Next draw. That gets you to a 19. A 19 is certainly enough for you to just kind of like, with this sword, and I mean,
Wait.
Yes,
Hold on.
Alvin, please.
It was 10. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, so you were including the my.
I was including your. So you had 10 plus 5. You have
right.
From cards 10 plus 4, and then 5 is your modifier. Yes.
Excellent. Okay, thank you. Continue.
So
Daddy.
as you sort of leap up, I'll say that this is Alvin. Alvin. You have probably Alvin as a former groundskeeper knows how to swing a scythe. Knows how to do this. So I'll say that you do leap up and you impact this dragon, and you are such a sizable thing that the force of this throws the dragon off of its course. In this case, no further rolls are required from Elwyn and Urrek. The move rolls you already did with this kind of dragon falling to the side is enough for it to get knocked out of the path, and the two of you do now hide where you were hiding. Alvin, I would love for you to give me, as you strike, I'd like for you to give me a look roll as you see this thing up close. And then we're going to get to the Quelenem's doing God.
And I have no hearts, so that's fine, right?
Yeah, if you have no hearts, you can use a card and you won't get to replace it, or just draw. 5. And then what is your look modifier?
4.
4. Okay, so with a 9, I'm gonna say a 9 will give this to you. You do notice that the sort of chest of this dragon, like the wound is already somewhat closing. It is not bleeding, so you're definitely like, oh, this is some kind of undead dragon. You've harmed it, like you've stopped it for this, but it's not a sort of mortal blow, at least not yet. But you do notice that embedded within its scales are some very distinctive alligator-like teeth. That was just a little one for Moses. We're just letting Moses have a moment.
Yeah.
Just sort of, he previously had a gator face who bit this guy. He bit this dragon once to send it away. All right, perfect.
I think I missed this. I don't think I was.
This was what everyone called the friendship. This is the people who crash landed where Lamp Black already was. On their preceding episode. Yeah. So, Alvin versus venereal disease. Got it. Okay, so that's what Lauren has put in our chat.
No, I said Alvin versus VD, and that I was like clarifying a vampire dragon, not venereal disease.
Stone Man doesn't have to worry about BD anymore.
He's stone.
It's true.
He's hard as a rock.
He has to worry about moss and mushrooms.
No, but I do have to worry about moss. It's so unhygienic when you get that lichen growing on you. Oh man, baby, it's okay. I can just scrape it off, and then I'll be there for you.
Why? What have
Just
you
face
done?
away from the sun. Good. It'll migrate
Oh.
to their side.
I always face away from the sun. So, Alvin has struck this thing down. Elwyn and Urrek are hiding. Atris and Chadelaid. As Chadelaid, you begin to sort of want to kind of animate a thing. And just for your guys' frame of reference, to put it into D&D terms, even though we're not really using the D&D stuff, think of it as, in this horrible system, because I'm mean, your spell slots and your HP are coming from the same pool.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
That's the idea. And that's actually how it is in most of our games. So, yeah.
Can I, through necromancy, like enhance wounds on a dragon? Like if it's already wounded, make the wounds worse?
That is an interesting thing. You would have to, I would say, you can certainly attempt that. You're kind of like the disruption of something. That would be less about you spending power, but you would need an extremely high number to affect that.
You mean like a queen?
Probably a queen. You have a queen. Well, and plus, yeah, with a queen and your thing on top, actually, yeah, it would. The trick to that, though, sir, is that I don't know that Atris yet knows it is a vampire dragon. I think we said that you guys, in your hiding place, in your lower analysis, you just think it's a dragon. All you know is that Alvin just struck the dragon. You don't know that it's a thing. So once,
I know it's wounded now.
You know it's wounded once it's in the mix, but you just assume it's wounded. You don't know that it's healing wounded and is a, you know.
Right. I don't think this would matter whether or not it was a vampire dragon. I think if I knew that it was hurt and it looks like the sword is dangerous to it, I would just enhance the wounds that the sword is making. And I wouldn't know about any other wounds on the dragon.
Okay. I'm trying to think of how nice to be about this. I'll tell you what, Atris. Because Atris has canonically appeared to be the more studious of these two twins, and then Chadelaid, we are going to get to you trying to animate a corpse, because that's fun. Atris, you see your chance that Alvin's done this. You see a moment, you're like, I'm gonna try to keep this dragon, and I'm gonna enhance the wound it just received. I am going to ask you to you're gonna make a couple draws here. First, give me a look to see what you can see about the creature.
Okay. That is a hearts. I have a queen of hearts, but I don't want to use that. I'll use my 8 clubs.
I think it's a 6.
It brings
of
me up to a
clubs.
10. Huh?
I think I have a 6 of clubs for you, not an 8 of clubs.
Oh, did I not? I had both in my hand. Did I use one of them?
I think you might have already used your 8. An 8 of clubs has already been used, so you must have used that off-suit earlier.
I thought I used my jack and my 7.
Your jack. I have a jack of clubs there, so you use jack. You might have used a jack, not an 8.
That might have been it. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
No. I have a jack of clubs.
You want to use that instead?
Yeah, I'll use that instead.
Okay. With a jack, which is a good high 11, and with that gets you to a 12. You, upon seeing this thing, you see 2 things that are notable. One, you see that it does not seem to be bleeding, and in fact, the wound is kind of moving in that bloodless way that certain undead things. So you're like, oh no, is this a dragon thing or whatever? Upon seeing the face of the dragon, seeing the fangs, you're like, okay, I don't think this is just like a zombie dragon. Okay, this is something. Atris, please give now me, and it's a lot of draws here. Sorry. Go ahead and analyze.
What's left in my hand right now? Because I think I may have misnoted.
This is what I have for you.
Okay. I will use the 6.
The 6. And what is your modifier to analyze?
I think 2.
A 2. With an 8, your mind is racing and you're saying, okay, for an undead thing, there may be a way to enhance that wound, but it is not the same spell I'd use on a living creature. I would not do inflict wounds. I would try to be like disrupting its necromancy rather than whatever. Mm-hmm. So you may spend power to do that, and you will need a huge thing. So yeah, presumably you will use your queen for it.
Yeah.
But you understand that. I'll also say that you can be saying this, whispering this to your brother as you two are deciding what, if any, spell you guys are going to do. So why don't you actually roleplay that? Why don't you explain the situation to Chadelaid, Chadelaid meanwhile is half pulling some, skeletal creature out of the muck directly under you, like, cool. A friend we can animate.
Brother, I think I have some rather bad news. This is not just a dragon, nor is it just an undead dragon. It is a vampiric dragon. So I'm going to do my utmost to disrupt its necromantic energies, because otherwise, I'm afraid our friends here will be very drained of blood by the end of the day.
It's great, brother. I am working on a distraction, hopefully, so we can get out of here. You work on draining it, and I'll work on distracting it. Sound good?
Right. Let's give it a go. Roll up my sleeves.
Wonderful. So Chadelaid, if you start rolling up your sleeves, Chadelaid, I'm going to extend to you, in this sort of moment, I'm going to extend to you the same courtesy I've given Atris. Even though you are not the studious of the brothers, sometimes I should be nice. And also, guys, you guys have drawn so many cards, it's great. So, Chadelaid, why don't you give me an analyze as well?
Okay.
Based on what your brother has just told you.
And the analyze isn't to cast the spell, right?
The analyze is not casting a spell. The analyze is you have a diamond if you want to do this. The analyze is this is you thinking about the right way to do the spell based on what your brother just told you.
Okay. And so essentially, okay. I'm not casting the spell, I'm just thinking about the spell.
Yeah, you're just...
Because I want to save...
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take my 10 of spades.
If you do diamonds, you will get a card back because it's on suit.
Oh, but if I want to cast the spell, don't I want to do the diamonds?
Diamonds could help with the... yeah, it's true. Okay, cool. So the 10 of clubs?
Yeah.
10 of clubs, cool. All right, so...
I want the spell to work.
With a 14, you sort of think about what your brother's saying, and you're like, okay, good. Here, this will be a distracted thing that it will... And you do have a realization of... Okay, but if it's a vampire, it won't care about an undead thing. It wants blood.
Yeah.
So this corpse will not attract its attention.
Right. Okay. Can I, as far as like spells go then? Knowing that.
Ooh, but you know what? Because you put a 10 there, a 14, you do know that your brother is trying to harm at this now. Oh, okay. Spell-wise, here we go. One thing that can harm dragons such as this is like light energy. And that is not something that you are necessarily going to have that much ability to do, but perhaps that little La Duille elf over there, that life elf, she might have the ability to summon some sunlight.
Sun's bright, house hot! Let's do this!
Sun's bright, house hot.
House hot!
I have no idea what you're doing.
I'm so sorry. I turned to Elowen. How far are we from them?
Elowen is very far, but with no power required. You will have to make a draw for it, though. I would let you telepathically. You don't have to spend any power, but you could telepathically send a message to Elowen if you'd like.
Okay. Yeah. Let's fucking do it. Let's do it. Let's do I'll do the jack.
The jack, great. That'll get you to 6. So basically, Elowen, perfectly clear in your mind. Chadelaid is sort of breaking a Chadelaid is there's a certain convention that you typically don't do too much telepathy right into people's brains. Although in life or death situations, it may be okay. So you hear Chadelaid's voice in your head, and this is not like a message spell that you have like direct. You guys can chat right now for a bit, so you can. Okay. So what do you say, Chadelaid?
Sun bright, house hot.
Light elf, do the light thing. It's going to hurt the dragon more than anything I could do for you. Do your light magic.
It will compromise my location.
Well, you can hurt it and hopefully it'll go away, or you can stay behind the bush and we all possibly die once it smells us. Your choice.
Very well. And she will rally her powers.
Perfect. All right.
Do like the David Bowie.
Yeah, you do
like,
some of that
concept.
shenanigans. All right, so 2 things are going to happen here. Actually 3, because also Urrek, is there anything you'd like to do? Obviously, in a fight like this, there may be a circumstance of this is just it's kind of like this is not your time to do it.
Out of his depth.
Yeah.
It's not my wheelhouse.
Understood.
He's
Okay.
just the dude.
So, Alvin, you have your weapon. The dragon, like upon realizing, so while magic people are doing stuff, you've cut it down. This dragon is getting up. You also notice, Alvin, that the dragon seems very like bothered by the swamp, that the water that it's in. Like as it's like splashing, it's like it's trying to get higher. And the fact that you've sort of knocked it back down, it seems very upset. Tell you what, Alvin, I feel like I'm just making you guys draw lots of stuff, but that's kind of the fun of it. Give me I'll let it be a look. Really, it should be a smell or taste. But I guess you can't do those. It'll be a look. We'll just have to say that we'll see if you can see anything here. That's your current hand.
That's not me.
That's not you? Oh no, it's so not you. I am so sorry. That's your current hand. Right now. I'm so sorry. Yes, that is your hand. I do apologize. Ooh, your hand is looking light. Sorry, buddy.
Can I just draw?
I'd love you to draw. You draw a 1.
Great.
So you don't notice anything strategically convenient about this dragon, but it is now, like, having seen that you're a threat, it's probably just like, damn it, there's a freaking guardian thing. So it is the dragon is like preparing to attack you. However, at this point, Atris, Chadelaid has communicated with Eloin, but Atris, you've done your thinking. Chadelaid has dropped whatever half decomposed or 90% decomposed skeleton back in the muck. Atris, go ahead and do your spell to try to disrupt the necromantic energy of this creature.
I'm going to use the queen.
You're going to use the queen.
Yeah, baby.
And then I'm going to reach out with all of my might and try and, like, reach my power into this soul of this creature and clench on it and, like, tear it out of the body.
This is going to cost you 4 power.
Okay.
And as you sort of reach out and attempt to do this, you use that gets you to an 18, which is very high. I will ask you, do you want to spend 5 to draw another card on top of it? 18 is a very high roll.
No, I do not. I do not want to go down to 4 power.
Understood. All right. So I will say that you can feel that what you're doing is having some effect, but it is like you're on the cusp of... You're not, like, you haven't, like, fully disrupted it. Like I said, you needed a high...
Power. I'll spend power. Or can I... Or am I allowed to...
I will, however, this won't be an either-or thing. I will say that, like, if it continues taking damage, it's going to take more damage from things, but you haven't, like, opened the wound back up. But you have definitely, like, messed with it.
Okay.
If you, I guess if you, upon seeing this, if you want to, like, put more power in, it's almost like you're casting the spell again or something. You may, but the opportunity ends now.
I'm gonna do, no, I'm not gonna do it.
Let it ride. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Eloin. The dragon has been, like, seems to, like, and, like, it's clutching at itself, whatever. Chadelaid has told you to bring light. Meanwhile, Alvin is kind of, probably, like, preparing to sort of swing his tool at this creature again.
Okay.
What do you want to do this spell?
Wait, what? Like, what card I want to do this spell?
Do you want to cast a spell?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I know that you don't know all the sort of specific spells of this, but you did have a very, very high analyze earlier.
Yes.
And I think that you know that when Chadelaid said bring the light, you specifically need sunlight.
Okay.
So you can't just create bright light. You will need to summon the actual dawn into this place.
Ooh. Okay.
That is going to cost you a great deal of power.
How much?
It will cost you, normally, in other things, it should really be 5, but here in the Dreadlands, it does cost 6.
Very well.
All right. So we'll
Wait,
cut you down.
did I gain any power at the beginning?
No, because no time had passed.
Damn it.
So,
I'm sure there's a way I could
Elwyn.
like give her some of my power.
Aw.
Actually,
Aw.
all
Well, only-
right.
Wait. If I need it later, then
If you need,
can.
yeah, you'll a power
I mean,
transfer.
I've got a lot of power.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, yeah, we can.
Don't
You can give some life energy to your elf, or you can allow her to drain it from you for sure.
That feels like something Urrek would do.
I think it would. So,
I wouldn't drain it yet, though. Like,
Lorena.
if that's a possibility, I wouldn't yet.
Lorena,
Urrek would offer them. He'll at least
you
offer.
are about to fire this light of the sun at this dragon, whom Atris has weakened by
Yes.
disrupting its ability to, like heal itself in a sort of vampiric mastery over death. He's taken that away, but what you're doing is you're trying to send like a serious like bomb at it. Elwyn. Elwyn,
What?
this is your hand.
Yes.
It's not the greatest hand I've ever seen.
Hey, it's on suit, and
Your elven magic, it is on suit. Okay, it's a 14. Okay, you're gonna put that in. Your replacement card is a 4 of spades. If
okay.
you'd like to, you could spend an additional 5 power to draw another card. Your husband is nodding.
I don't listen to him, but I will.
Based on Philip's tone, you have to.
Yeah, well, I know. I was going to before I even.
Wow. Okay. So
Can
taking
Urrek give
yourself
the power?
down to 1 power,
Can Urrek give the power, or
Not.
she will have
Okay.
to subsequently cast a spell to drain it from you. But yes.
Oh.
Or
okay.
I guess you could give her.
I feel like that would be a part of our bond.
It's a thing, yeah. You can siphon some. He can probably even. I would allow that in a moment. But for now, here's the other
Sure.
card. So currently you're
And I'm
at
sorry,
14.
it was a 4 of spade.
You have a 4 of spades now, yes.
Okay.
But here's the card. I'm gonna tell you, Lauren. Your odds of this are pretty good. You need whatever you draw. You need it to be a 4 or higher.
Okay.
For this to
Okay.
work 100%. If it's 3 or lower.
Go.
you got this?
Go.
If it's 3 or lower, it will still work, but will be in the thing won't be in sort of the best of case. Ready, set.
Very
No
well.
way she doesn't have.
It is a 2.
Sorry. I'm sorry I yelled.
So you spent 5 power and only added 2 to it. That's pretty rough.
But you know what? I
You
still
get it to
added
a
something.
16, and it's better. Yeah, it's like every little bit helps, but as you get it to a 16, suddenly,
I'm so sorry.
Alvin, you are not blinded by it, but Chadelaid and Atris, though you called for it, Chadelaid, and Atris, you're kind of focusing on it's not like concentration, but like you're sort of working on this thing you've done. The two of you, what ensues is the most hateful, direct sunlight. It's something you have not seen, like, almost ever. A light of this kind of quality, you as Twilight Elves just, you recoil from it. To the point that I actually want both of you to make an endurance roll.
Awesome.
You poor folks. Atris,
I'm gonna draw for that.
You're gonna draw
I'll
for that.
draw for that
right?
too.
Atris, congratulations. You endure spot on. Where was that on the... Why couldn't you draw that a second ago, though? All right,
Yeah.
you're going to draw as well,
What?
Chadelaid?
What is my hand again? I'm sorry. I have an ace, I have a 10 of spades, and a 10 of diamonds.
You only have a 10 of... you didn't get to replenish, so you have an ace of clubs and a 10 of diamonds.
All right, I'll draw.
I'm gonna put 2 in endurance, by the way.
Love it.
Sorry for that.
Chadelaid, you draw a 5. Do you have any points in endurance, Chadelaid?
I have 2.
You have 2? Okay.
Yeah.
A 7 is enough for you to it hurts. Atris is able to just shockingly not even look away from this. Atris is able to keep his eyes open. Chadelaid, he kind of has to but you don't take any damage. You're not knocked out or anything. You're just kind of honestly, Chadelaid, you can, if you'd like to, you could do a full on you guys are fighting a vampire dragon. Act like you could do it's full on light.
Atris is like, this isn't even that bad, and his eyes are like bleeding.
I can take it. It's fine. It's not so bad. I can do spicier next time.
actually quite nice.
Yeah. Urrek, this kind of light is not is very bright for you, but it is not that intense. That being said, Urrek, I'm going to allow you to sort of do a process by which this is kind of an ad hoc thing. I'm not going to say this is how it always works, but seeing how drained your lady is by summoning the sun, if you would like to sort of put some of your power right into her. You can you know what? I do think it would be an endurance roll, so if you want to give yourself any points in endurance first. But I'm going to let you basically transfer points into her, and the way this will work is for every 2 points you spend, she'll get 1. So this is an inefficient means of restoring someone's power. It's not a direct transfer. It is if you spend 2, she gets 1. So like if you spent 4, she'll get 2 back. That kind of thing.
She's at 1. So.
She's at 1, so it's kind of you're kind of like if you spent 6, you'd be at 7 and she'd be at 4, so you'd both be pretty low. If you spent 8, you'd both be at 5.
I'll spend 6.
6. I think that's a nice way to do it. Go ahead and if you can make an endurance draw, or you can just use your 7 of hearts,
I'll use my 7.
which will be the 7 for this purpose will be enough.
So I have 4 now,
You
right?
have 4 now, and you just got a 10 back. So there you go, Urrek.
Nice.
So Urrek, basically, you've depleted yourself. You're at 7 and 4
Urrek.
points. Yeah, but you're kind of
Urrek will just kneel down to one knee and say, "I exist only for you and your ambitions. Use my life as you see fit."
And she will put her hand on his cheek and say, "I am forever grateful for your service."
With the hand, a single tear will just flow down Urek's face.
Oh, damn.
It's pretty nice. All right, so the good news is you have done, basically, Atris and Elowin have done a good deal to make this dragon, like, this vampire dragon is weakened. The sunlight is harming it. The sort of wound the wound healing vampire stuff that's disrupted, it is on its back leg, but it is still in. And though it can smell these living beings having done this stuff, it still mainly thinks, if I just get rid of this statue, I can feast on them. Kind of a vibe. So Alvin, the dragon, straining, and because you didn't see anything earlier, you just think you're fighting. You saw some light, you know they're casting spells behind you. But you are gonna have to fight this thing because it is now coming for you. So it is a fight roll for you, sir. This is your hand at present.
Do we know what we have in the deck? Are we privy to that, or are we just assuming based on the cards that everybody else has?
I think it's based on what everybody else has. I will say, there's only 1 king in the discard pile.
I had a quick question.
Please, Urrek.
Because I played the 7 of hearts, do I get a new card?
You did. It was a 10 of hearts.
10 of hearts. Okay,
Yes.
I didn't hear that.
Sorry. Yes.
No problem.
I held it up, but you were in the midst of giving a beautiful speech.
Yeah. Urrek was having a moment.
I'm going to draw and hope that works out for Alvin.
All right. Big draw for old Alvin here. This is a big one.
It's going to be an ace. It's going to be a 2. It's going to be a...
I hope it's not.
That's baby.
King of spades.
That's what we're talking about
So
tonight.
not only is it a king, sir, that gets you to an 18, and it is on suit. And not only that, you get to replenish your hand with this card, a King of Hearts.
Special. That's darn
Alvin's
special.
He's about to carry us.
Where were all those kings a moment ago? So yeah. So now there are 2 discarded kings, 1 in hand. Still a queen out there, though. Pretty sure there is. Yeah, there's something. Yeah. Still a queen. All right, so that's a 12. So that actually gets you to a 17. So Alvin, basically, as this thing comes, and because of the injuries it's already taken, you are able to hack at this creature, and the sunlight means that between the sunlight and the disruption that Atris's sort of curse has provided, this dragon is not healing the way it should be, and you'll even do you have your dice handy?
I absolutely
Roll your D13.
Oh, yeah. It's a 3.
A 3. With a 3, you lop several of its talons off.
Good.
Like, the talons, like, fall off, and, like typically, these things don't lose, so it kind of is, it's like this dragon is, like, it's stuttering, and I'm gonna let you, once again, I know you probably won't use your king for this, I want you to make another look roll here.
I'll just use my 5.
5. Okay, cool. With your natural look, you can tell that the dragon, despite the injuries it's taken, it seems to also be taking damage from, like, areas where the water is, like, moving under it. It seems like this water is really messing with it. This vampire dragon is not good at being on or sort of in running water, which is a thing you're now noticing. But you have struck it pretty bad, and it did not harm you as it kind of came in. It's on its back legs.
Can Alvin yell something?
Sure.
He yells, "It's wounded by the water."
Would Elwyn hear that?
I think Elwyn has heard that, yes.
So I'm going to argue rivers can be connected to life, correct?
Yes. You don't have to argue that, yeah.
Well, I just want to make my case, so perhaps...
Please, sorry.
Are you going to speak Elvish right now for us?
I've got more.
If you want him, come and claim him.
We'll get to the water spell in a minute.
God.
So hearing him, what would it cost Elwyn to, like, make the water, like, rise up and overcome the dragon?
To cause the water to rise like that, that is not... Oof. That is a spell. I will say the following, though.
I don't have enough.
You probably don't want to spend that. Chadelaid, if you hear Alvin shout that, this is not something you've probably practiced a ton, but it is some fairly basic transmutation magic, kind of just the sort of summoning of weight, like the moving of water as it exists. Whether you're sort of, drawing things. So Chadelaid, if you would like to cast this spell, you haven't actually spent any power on spells. So if you want to do this, you could attempt to do this. This is not a dangerous one. It costs you 4 power, and you can try to have water. You can just have the swamp rise up on this thing.
I could do that.
Oh.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
That's what you're holding.
Okay.
But that 10 is helpful.
We can do the 10 of diamonds.
And what modifier have you given yourself for your spellcasting? 4. A 14. All right, so you're going to spend that 10 of diamonds. You do get a card back, which is the queen. You get the queen in hand. Which is kind of a bummer for me because... Or actually, maybe not. Oh yeah, maybe not at all. So as you sort of cast this with a 14, you manage to Chadelaid, kind of Atris with your sort of like out there now, Chadelaid, you're probably covering your eyes, shielding it from the light that's sort of dying. But hearing Alvin say this, you can kind of gesture, and I'll leave it to you. Do you want to simply have the water, like do you want to create like a wave of water that rushes over it? Do you want to like have like water kind of just like go up like you want a geyser from underneath it? How do you want to direct the water at this thing?
It's a swamp that it's in, right?
It is a swamp, yes.
Do I see anywhere that I can like knock it back into or
Oh,
sure. So in addition to sort of, you could just send it sort of more further away from where you guys are, absolutely.
Okay, I was like, oh, can I knock it into his tree? Like, can I like literally like
snap?
Like,
okay,
like hit it into something?
Oh,
so
Chadelaid.
Using the force of the water.
Chadelaid, I know that you have just expended a great deal of power to do that. Elwyn?
Would Elwyn sense that like she's trying to move the water? Like, would she be able to see what's happening?
Yeah, she sees that he's moving the water. I think Elwyn is pretty darn tapped out. You can, if you want to also do this.
Could this be like offensive magic that like we're taking like
You know what?
pieces of
Because
from
you've
the
said your
bracelets?
offensive thing. Okay, I'll tell you what you can do. In addition to that roll,
Okay.
give me a calculate. I know that's not one that you have points in, but it would be a calculation. So it would be in diamonds. So you could either use one of these beautiful cards, or you can draw.
Alright, we'll take the queen.
Take the queen.
We'll take her.
I'm just gonna roll my d13 on your behalf.
That's fine. It's fine.
Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on.
No,
come on,
no,
come on.
no, no, no.
No.
Just an 8.
Just a little late.
Jeremy, you also did one, right? You played a queen?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So Fable did 2. Wonderful. Man, if we go through the whole deck, I basically am guaranteed 4. That's pretty cool. Oh, I haven't been doing it here. I'm so sorry. Dink. So, with a 13 in your calculations, you can attempt to sort of direct it using kind of the offense magic. It's probably even a thing of you're casting the spell to control the flow of some water to move it back towards some stuff, but you may even be like throwing out a couple of bursts using your bracers just to kind of like further put some kind of momentum in that way.
Okay,
You send it towards a few low-lying trees that have sharp branches extending up. That being said, Alvin, with your sight, you see this is going on. You think that it's probably going to hit those, but if you want to, and it's harmed by this water, the light has harmed, it's like this dragon is not as fair as this. If you wanted to, Alvin, you could go and push it, you could kind of drive it home.
Absolutely.
All right, Alvin, go ahead, and I think this is just an athletics. That's what's in your hand.
Wrong hand, because
not you?
it's king time, baby.
Oh my god, wait. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Yes, that is not your hand. That is someone else's. You're gonna do the king. All right, I love it.
Also, do I get to draw another card because I used my 10 for diamonds?
You do. You get an 8 of hearts.
Sweet. Okay.
No. We already did. That's when you got the queen.
Oh!
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
And
Sorry.
you've already spent that queen. Okay, cool. So, there's an 8. Well, I'm shuffling the last 5 cards. Okay. Is that all 4 queens? That's all 4 queens. There's, it doesn't matter if we run out now. It's fine. It's all fine either way. You guys aren't getting a horror surge. You're fine. Alpha. With a 17, Alvin leaps at this like bound through the running water. Elowen, you're probably not even sure why he's doing this. Maybe you were sort of stepping out to maybe assist Chadelaid with this, but Chadelaid seems to
Right to the water.
yeah.
Her
just
eyes are
angle it.
rolled back in her head.
And Alvin, as this happens, Alvin, you do this tremendous leap and you just kind of push the creature, and a funny thing happens, which is that this vampire dragon, as it's like snarling backwards, one of these tree trunks bursts through its chest. And sort of the last thing it sees from its, head at this oddly canted angle is this stone thing pushing it into it. And then the sharp branch hits Alvin's chest and shatters. Because Alvin is stone and the dragon, thanks to Atris's spell and thanks to Elowen's light and everything, the dragon is but flesh. And soon the dragon begins to turn to ash. But because it's raining hard, the ash is like thick and muddy, and it's awful.
That was beautiful. Wow.
Nice.
Yeah.
More frogs?
Okay. So Chadelaid,
No more frogs? No more frogs.
Chadelaid is at 9. He's at 9.
Elowen will be leaning on Urrek and just say, "No more frogs."
Thank you very much. And also, you're welcome.
I'll give credit where it's due, Necromancer. You played your part.
as my eyes are like bleeding, and I'm like, "Thank you, I do my best."
Wow.
Could Elwyn use her magic to like clean the blood away or like help his eyes without spending any power? Or something? Like,
because
just
because
bit.
you are a life person,
Mm-hmm.
I would allow you to sort of do almost like it's like a sort of a
Presto.
cantrips level like it's like a palliative measure. You're not healing him, but you're alleviating some pain. So
Yes.
sure. And of course now the light has sort of gone.
My apologies.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Well, it's fine. You did what you had to do. I would have done the same thing in your position.
Well, your brother informed me of what I was required to do, so many thanks.
As always, we are here to serve.
And she'll turn to Alvin and say, "Are you all right?
I'm fine.
Thank
Are
you."
you all okay?
Yes, all in one piece.
Chadelaid pulls out a fucking monogrammed towel, hands it to his brother, and dabs his little eyes.
Almost makes it worse.
Anything for you, brother.
You're just pushing the light blood back in.
Oh,
Yeah, the blood that's been tainted by the light. It had to escape my body from the shame of seeing the sun. Well, I would say that at this point, a sort of still kind of reeling almost. Hattie
Rest.
just kind of like moves out of the
Yeah.
woods and says, "She got it. I had him back, and all right, well, the path out of here is this way. Come on." And she starts sort of guiding you all.
Shouldn't we rest?
I'd like to leave this area as quickly as possible.
we should find safety.
I will say that Hattie will say this is not a safe place to be.
Is the dragon's body still there?
The dragon's body turned to ash, but it's so much. It's not just like it's like you still sort of see the shape of it and like the full spread of the wing. But because it is also into water and it's like raining, it's kind of all sort of washing away. Is there? Did you want to? If you wanted to take some as like a souvenir, though, you certainly could, Urrek.
Can Urrek take the alligator teeth?
I love it. Oh my god. Yes, Urrek. I'm gonna have you let's have you do a
Again, look or analyze, or
yeah, do a look. And you've got a 10. You've got a high you've got a 10 of hearts in hand here, so that's
I'm getting those teeth.
yeah. All right. 10?
Yes.
Love it. Okay, cool. Your replacement card is a 2 of clubs, so apologies.
Worth it.
Yes, but with a 10, you actually do manage to find all the teeth.
Urrek can't explain it. He just felt like he needed them.
Sure.
Feels a little more complete now that he has them.
Perfectly normal to take a souvenir from your first kill, or even your 243rd. And I see them. The teeth.
What can I say? They're good teeth.
Will you show them to Chadelaid?
Yes.
All right. So Chadelaid, you look at these. Now Chadelaid, I would like for you to make an analyze roll on these.
I'll draw.
Draw. It is a 5, which gets you to a 9. What's interesting about these teeth is that you are familiar with various reptilian beings, and you're familiar of things that are sort of from like the crocodilian family. You know, this appears to be that, but you're not exactly sure the species of this, and you probably suspect, especially given the way this dragon came in through Dreadstorm, that this is from some species of long-snouted reptile. You don't know anything more about that. You think it's a fairly large Snyder reptile. You're not sure if it's a biped, a quadruped. You're not sure what it is, but you do think that it is probably not native to Ignador.
Well, have you seen teeth like this before, Urrek? This doesn't look like anything I've seen from my lands. What about yours?
I guess there are no crocodiles where I come from.
There may be things that are like it, but these don't look like something about them does. Actually, Urrek, I should take that back. Urrek, why don't you also do an analyze roll?
Okay. I'll do it.
You have a 6 on suit, or you can just
I'll draw.
Just draw. As far as you can tell, they just look like shark teeth. You're not even sure. You're not a tooth guy. You just liked them.
I've never seen any teeth like these before, but they look quite mighty.
Indeed. What do you plan to do with them?
I don't know, maybe fashion them into a weapon, keep them as souvenirs.
May I keep one to analyze further with my brother?
Urrek will give like a squinty look right at the necromancer and be, yes. For what you've done today, you've earned at least one.
Elowin will approvingly tap or like pat Ulrich on the shoulder.
Urrek will cross his arms and just don't think this means we're friends.
Thank you. And I take it and I show it to Aegis.
The tooth?
The tooth. I figured it'd be good
Nice.
for... Nice.
And I figure it out, whatever this is. So.
You can also do, if you'd like to do an analyze on it, but I will say that your brother has already done a pretty good analysis. I think you would suspect that...
Can you use this for, like, spell components? Is that...
This, maybe you could. I would say that both of you, though, think that kind of, perhaps even why you've done this, and you may not want to do it at this moment, but, for example, a variety of divination magic that would be well in your wheelhouse. You could spend a power and cast a spell to determine what type of being this came from. You can that is a divination that necromancers like, this was a, you'll be like, oh, this was like a beast of this thing, or you would learn like creature type and nature, perhaps even a name.
While the two of them are conversing about that, can I just like, sneakily but curiously just like
take a glance at what
try to look over their shoulders? Like,
sure. You just see them discussing the thing sort of in a way. And in answer to sort of your question, Chadelaid, based on what you learned from such a thing, perhaps there could be a spellcasting component. Perhaps that would be, perhaps there would be use to it. A divination would tell you if it is a mere curio or something that has potential. Yes, Elowin.
Can I make my way over to Alvin?
Sure.
And I would like to ask him, the sword, do you feel that it has any special properties?
I don't know. Do I feel that the sword has any special properties?
Alvin, give me a detect 5.
Well, I have some pretty poor hand here, but
you can just
I'll
draw.
use
You can draw.
Oh, I thought you were showing me what was left in the deck. I was like, oh, that's what I have.
There's only 2 cards left in the deck, though.
Detect 5. Yeah, I'll just draw.
An 8.
Better one I have.
Better than anything in your hand. Yes, with an 8. And do you have points in detect 5 or no?
No.
So yeah, with an 8, you do think that the sword has some, like the sword swung very true, and it feels right in your hand. Clearly there is something special about the sword. You may not have fully like connected to it yet, but you can tell that it is not a sword, and though it is made of stone, it is shockingly sharp.
I think this is the sword I was supposed to have.
It appears so.
Hmm.
Thank
I'm
you.
sorry we lost the soldier, but it was necessary.
I suppose so. And she will look sadly at Hattie, thinking that the soldier is her lover. knowing what it's like to lose a lover.
Elowen, do you think Hattie was fucking the sword?
I mean, maybe, who knows? I don't want to yuck anyone's yum, okay?
I've seen Stranger Things.
The hilt. They don't do that on Stranger Things. That's really a kid show. Okay, so Atris, I'm gonna leave it here with you.
Season 5.
With Atris and Chadelaid. It is it takes some power. You do regain 1 power per hour. Do you wish to kind of just now, while you're here, get the information, or do you guys want to wait on finding out about what, if anything, is special about this tooth?
I'll spend the power and do it immediately.
Love it. Go ahead and it's just to cast a spell for you.
And
Do I have left?
That's what you got left.
That's so cool. I'm gonna draw.
Draw, guys. This is the final draw. Chadelaid, what were you gonna say?
oh, I'm curious too to like understand like the connections of death across different dread planes.
Of course.
Like,
And this will go a long way to it because the final card in the deck.
oh shit!
Of diamonds on suit. But you know what that actually means? Because I would draw for you to, you would get a card to replenish your hand. That triggers a full redeal. But we're not actually going to do that now. We're going to end the episode here with Atris and Chadelaid understanding. Atris. And I'll say that the way you do your divinations, I'm sure there's some brotherly connection where like Chadelaid can kind of also glean the information. And I will say Elowen, Urrek, and Alvin, you guys might notice that the brothers are casting a spell here. But what you learn is that this is the tooth of an intelligent, sapient creature. A gator face from the realms called the Marshes of the Grave. This is a dreadland you have heard of. It is, honestly, you're in an area of Ignador sort of similar to it, but imagine that rather than a little bit of marshy stuff between other realms, it's basically just like an ocean of, it's ocean that has incredible depths, but also is largely marshes and kind of walking around. I will say with the level that you've just done, you know that this tooth belonged to a gator face named Stilt Cutter. Stilt Cutter. You also know, because you have a +5 to this, right? You're an 18?
Yeah.
18's crazy high.
Well, it's at 12, right? So, 17?
Sorry. Oh, yes, it's not, 13's like, okay. Still 17's very high. I'm going to say
Math is hard.
You know that Stilt Cutter is dead. This is something you often know. Does this belong to one who is alive or dead? So clearly, this Stilt Cutter took a bite out of this thing at some point. You don't think that's what killed Stilt Cutter, however. You don't think Stilt Cutter died to this vampire dragon. However, with your 17, this is a massive, massive clue that you are receiving because both of you, in all of your studies and in all of your learnings and all of your sensings and peering beyond the veil, you have never had a divination reveal the following, or never had anything in a book suggest the following was possible. But the soul of this gator face, this Stilt Cutter, is at peace. And off that impossibility, that is where we will end this episode.
Yeah, baby.
I love that he's at peace. He and
That's
Bella are just chilling, looking at each other forever.
Probably the only character who has ever died peacefully.
Oh no,
both
it's
of
not,
us.
no, like, there are 3 characters who were not consigned to in the history of this game. There are 3 player characters who died, and because of how far they got, powers that be said, we're gonna put you into a pleasant eternity. You're just gonna, the rest of time is just gonna be a pleasant moment for you 3.
Bella, Stilt Cutter, and who else?
Doll
Lives.
girl?
Oh,
No.
The emissary.
Oh, that's
Mm.
yeah.
those three. And it's especially funny because Stilt Cutter was trying to say, Stilt Cutter said the opposite, and then they were just like, we're just going on. He doesn't know what's going on. Yeah. Amazing. Well, guys, off that note, what a fun callback to Stilt Cutter. Wasn't expecting that tonight, but
that was great. That was awesome.
with our crew, pretty, like, you guys are not, like, some of you are pretty damn depleted, but like there was definitely a major cost to you guys in terms of power, but you don't have any injuries from it. And you did slay the vampire dragon, which was a big tool in Dracula's arsenal. So well done at that. But that concludes chapter 133 of Blood from a Stone. Thank you all for being here. I'm gonna do our sort of good nights here real quick. We have other games on this channel. On Sunday, we are finally back with Here Be Dragons. If you enjoyed the dragon components of tonight, but you want to just see some dragons, except none of them look like dragons because they're on another plane, don't worry about it. Come on Sunday to Here Be Dragons, 7:30 p.m. Pacific time. On Monday, guys, it's the Dreamlands, and right now we have I don't think the Lantern in the Gate is going to win. I think but it is performing pretty well. So, it's something of a horse race, and if there was a huge groundswell of support for the Lantern in the Gate, I think, Lauren, you voted for that today, right?
Yes.
You did. But the other option is a new one. And the cool thing about this is, no matter what they choose, they are going to be productive by looking into one of the many open plot threads. So they'll either find out more about curses or about Orlando. And out of context, I'm not going to explain if I mean Orlando, Florida, or a character in Orlando.
Join us in the Discord.
Or Orlando Bloom.
Or Orlando Bloom. So join us for that. And then on Wednesday, we're back with Top Flight Tales. Last one was really fun. Oh my God, Sierra did sometimes fumbles are the greatest thing that can possibly happen. I'll simply say that. And it was amazing. And then on a week from tonight, we are back with this game. Now, I said March 1st was going to be a special thing for this. I'm actually kicking it 1 week later, I believe. I think next week we're going to actually have a good number of players here. We'll have a decent number of players. So next week should be continuing this adventure. The week after that will be a very special episode. Yeah. I'm going to say what it is.
Yeah.
Join us next week as we continue this, but the week after that, on March 8th, I'm going to tell all the players that though they're welcome to sort of join if they happen to be around to just sit here, their services as players are not required, because on March 8th, we're going to be going to the hut of the Goblin Witch to once again follow our dear friend, the Soldier of Fortune.
Yeah, baby.
Who is in quite a predicament for one of our infamous no-player games, which I'm a big fan of those, so please join us for that on March 8th if you'd like. It's going to be fun.
It's the Philip show.
It is. We did it once before, and it was interesting, and it's also sort of, we've done things like it before. It sort of functions like the Meridian game, where kind of like the viewers and things, and if any of you decide to play that night, we have a lot of players out that night, so it's fine. But like if any of you decide to play, you can kind of be here, and you can vote for what the character does next at times, kind of. It's like you're playing a BioWare game. I think that's what they all say that it's like. And I'll be like, here's your options. A, you say this. B, you say this. 3, press X to doubt. That's not BioWare, that's LA Noire. I know that.
Like a Twitch plays Pokemon kind of thing.
I think that's basically
Oh, God.
So yeah. So come check that out. There's going to be some fun stuff with the Soldier of Fortune. I urge the devotees of this show to really check that episode out and or read the recap after, because some stuff's going to happen there. No matter what happens, something big will happen. I'm going to promise that. What big thing happens is yet to be determined. The dice will decide. No, they won't. Oh, the dice won't fucking decide. The cards will decide. Oh, shit. We have to...
Heart of the cards.
Guys, we have to believe in the heart of the cards. Go to our Discord to interact with us, go to our YouTube to watch old episodes, go to our wiki to read all the cool interconnected things about this, and we have recaps and sort of all the stuff Sophia and everyone have put together there. Do we have any people to thank from chat today?
Yes, we do.
Well, that's so nice.
Wanted to give a shout out to King Bojangles, who followed us this evening. Thank you, King Bojangles. It actually made me think about there's apparently a restaurant called Bojangles, and I've been looking it up, and I think they should have one in California, because they don't, because I want the chicken now.
Yeah.
So I'm very hungry today. And I wanted to give a huge shout out to Ben Hader for, like, the show didn't even, like, really start, and cheered 1,000 bits.
Oh my god, that is
I don't
so
even
nice.
know how to get 1,000 bits. That's like
I
the most
tried.
bits I've ever.
I tried to buy bits, but my Prime account is no longer connected to my thing.
Lauren can't even get bits. Like, how do you even do that?
How do you
Ben
do
Hader,
that?
you're a real MVP.
That is much appreciated. Thank you so much for all your support. That's very kind. Well, yeah. Well, that's. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is fun. Please join us for these future ones. Sunbright House Hot. That's what I have to say.
Sunbright House Hot.
Do you want to fully explain what that means, or?
So Zane was like, Lauren, did you have the heater on today because the house is really hot? And I was like, no. Sun was bright, house was hot. And then I said, sun bright, house hot. That's what it was. And
Sunbright House Hot.
yeah.
And then it wound up making sense in game, which was just delightful.
Yeah, that was the perfect time.
Oh my god.
I didn't even register at the beginning. I was like, I've heard that before.
Sunbright
No, that was awesome.
Also, I do want to say I do know the water spell from Lord of the Rings.
Do it.
You said
I'm going to.
didn't you?
Do the whole thing again.
No, I said I when I first spoke Elvish, it was Frodo Fieraya Tradonir Durguait Nin Beriaton, which means Frodo is dying. If I can get him across the river in time, the power of my people will save him. However, the water spell is Nino Hetagle Lastobetar Raymond Imbroinen Dani Nulayer.
Damn. And also, this woman was telling us that her brain was tiny and she was so not smart earlier.
Well, my
And
brain
yeah,
capacity.
Your brain capacity.
Okay, well, the remaining capacity.
Because
It's
the
also
Elvis
like a-
language.
Stuff with Elvish, yeah.
It's useless Lord of the Rings facts, like Elvish lines, you know. All that's left for logic and reason and reality is like it's very small. Sunbright House Hot.
Sunbright House
Reason
Hot.
and reality when you know the water spell from Lord of the Rings.
Exactly.
Also, I want a shirt that just says Sunbright.
Sunbright House Hot. Yeah.
Sunbright House Hot.
Sunbright House Hot. Oh my god. Wow.
No. Also, I do have Aragorn's sword tattooed on my body, so I've been obsessed with Lord of the Rings forever, and this is my prized possession.
You
Not
are
my
the
arm,
bonus
the
feature.
tattoo. Huh?
You are the bonus features.
Yeah, you are.
Thank you. That's the best compliment I've ever gotten.
The first thing I ever said to Lauren was, "You shall not pass," in all caps on an internet dating site.
Called
And-
OkCupid.
Yeah, she's anyway. Little. No, it's not embarrassing. We're on a nerd channel. This is fine.
I think you're fine.
I mean, it worked, so.
Ooh.
It worked. Yeah, that's how you get.
Well, based on what we just heard, yeah, of course it worked. Jesus.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how we're gonna ever top that. Thanks for watching.
Well,
Oh, I'm gonna show this off. I got this was a gift with purchase with the big Lego set I just bought. It's the micro rocket launch pad. Look at them. They're mini ones. They're tiny little dudes.
Wow.
Ah.
Super cute.
Look at them.
that. 9 years old and up. You are advancing so well. Look at that.
You are just the lamest person I've ever met. But look at them. Look at those guys. Look at those little guys. You don't like that?
They're
They're
so
very
small.
small.
Cute.
They're
so
very small.
dude. They're so
It
cute.
reminds me of
How
the
are your
spaceship
big
guy
man
from
hands going to put them
the
together?
Lego movie.
Wow.
The set I bought was
Good job.
the set I bought. This is the key component.
Oh,
Batmobile.
that's sick.
And it's,
Oh my goodness, what a
see
cute
when it
little
drives
car.
Is that the Michael Keaton Batmobile?
It is because what I have here is I bought the giant Batman Returns Batcave.
Oh my
That's-
goodness, look at that cute little man.
You were so unlikable.
Do you
Least unlikable person I've ever met. Oh my god.
I want to know what you made with the Legos I gave you. I gave Philip came down to our area to find minifigs,
I did.
but then I was like, "Oh, I have a bunch of minifigs," and he found better minifigs at my house.
I
than
did.
he
I think I've shown you some of the ones from you that
You
like,
have.
we used for characters in whatever the fuck that game was called.
I love how passionate you are about your little dolls. They're so cute. He's gonna mute me.
I got gifted a painted minifig for Christmas for my other D&D character that I don't play here.
That's fine.
But I was
That's cool.
Yeah, it's a little tiefling bard.
That's cool. Yeah. Well,
Why is Lauren dying?
because I muted her. Because if there's one thing I'm known for, it's silencing women. All right. Well, anyway.
Jesus.
Yeah, I don't care about girls. I care about Batman.
Care about Legos.
I do care about Legos. Yeah. Well, there you go. That's some Lego fun. We will see you guys on a subsequent episode. Until next time, have a dreadful night. Woo.